Have you ever imagined entering the market and on entering the market, all the coins set turns out to be like this? How do you feel? How about, have you ever set trades and then instead of the market going in your favor like you're seeing here, it turns out to be like this? All the coins turns out to be negative. All of them red with great negative percentages. How about this case scenario? You enter trade with the hope that the price will go up in your favor, but then it turns out to be the contrary and the market dips so greatly to the point that you go into negative 30, negative 29, or even negative 55. How do you feel then? I believe you find yourself in a state of helplessness, thinking that is the end of business. But did you ever know that even in this state of these great negatives, you may call it floating loss if you want, that you can turn out this, you can still make a lot of money, a lot of profits, even while in this state, you can make these profits. Did you ever imagine that? Now, if you are that kind of person, and you would want to understand how that can happen, stick around. Watch this video until the end, because this video is specifically for you. And I believe by the end of it all, you'll be amazed that you watched the video. This is Coach Musa. And in this video tutorial, I want to just briefly and in the simplest way explain to you the concept of a floating loss in crypto trading. Just imagine you went to the market, right, and bought one sack of maize. At how much? One sack of maize or one bag of maize, right? One sack of maize or one bag of maize at $100. Expecting that probably tomorrow or tomorrow next or by next week or by probably next month, the price of this one bag of maize will move to about $1,500 so that you are able to sell and make crazy profit of $50, right? And then, because you don't control what happens in the market, all of a sudden, the price of this maize, this one bag of maize, drops. Now, let me explain it in a simple term. Let's assume you bought one sack of maize, right? One sack of maize at $100. And then the next week, which you planned to sell this one sack of maize, after having anticipated that the price will probably go to about $150, the price drops to $80. What happens in this case scenario? Are you in a loss, or you would have made a profit? Definitely you wouldn't be in any profit, but you would be in what we call a floating loss. You have not yet sold your one bag of maize, but just that the one bag of maize which you initially bought at $100 has dropped to $80. Imagine in the following week, where you anticipated that since it fell to $80, probably it will rise again. It went further down to about $50. The same sack of maize. What happens in this case scenario? Are you in a loss? No. You are in what we call a floating loss. A floating loss of over $50. You will only be in a loss if you decide to sell this one sack of maize at $50. That's when you will make a loss of $50. But if you decide to be patient and say, you know what, maize is a necessity. No matter how long it will take, its demand will rise. And then you be patient with this one sack of maize whose price has dropped to $50. Then probably in the next 2 weeks or in the next 1 month or 2 months, You wake up in the morning and find out that the price of this one sack of maize, which initially dropped to $50, has now risen to $150. You'll get excited, right? But what does this mean? It means that the value of the one sack of maize, which previously dropped to $50, now is at $150. But have you made profit already? Not yet. But you are in profit already. You are in what we call a floating profit, right? Now, you'll only realize a profit when you decide to sell this one sack of maize at the current price, which is at $150. At that current market price, which is $150. But before selling, you'll be in what we call a floating profit. In this other case scenario, you were in what we call a floating loss. Why? Because the value of the one sack of maize you initially bought was below the $100 you bought, right? Now, this is what we call a floating loss. So a floating loss, in a simple term, is a depreciation in the value of an asset that you previously bought with the intention of selling it at a profit when the value rises. Now, the only thing you need to do here is you have to be patient and wait a little while, because what makes our market, the crypto market, so amazing is the fact that whatever goes down comes up, and whatever goes up comes down. And that is why we are able to profit, because our intention is to buy low and sell high, or buy lowest and sell high. You get that? So with this concept in mind, now whoever finds him or herself in a floating loss, you don't need to worry. In fact, to me, I would even say, if you find yourself in a floating loss, that should even excite you the most, because if you have some extra capital somewhere, buy more. Just imagine, the very same one sack of maize, which you bought at $100, and the price dropped to $80, and again the price went further down to $50. Imagine you bought only one sack of maize at how much? At $100, and the price went down to $80. If I am you, I'll buy another sack of maize. I buy another sack of maize at this much. If it drops further, I again buy another sack of maize. At how much? At $50. How many sacks of maize do I now have? I'll be having 3 sacks of maize. And I relax and wait for when the value will appreciate. Now, just imagine the value goes to $150. Do you know how much you would make? Imagine from this sack of maize which you bought at $50. Do you see the profit? You'll make a profit of $100. How about this other one which you bought at $80? How much will you make? You'll make a profit of around $70. How about this other one which you bought at $100? When finally the price appreciates to $150, you will make a profit of $50. How much in total would you have made in terms of profit? Imagine you have 100 from this, plus 70 from this second one, right? From this second one, and then 50 from this other one, plus 50. You would have made a total profit of $220 just by buying more when the price of this one sack of maize was dropping or was dipping. Now, if you're in a floating loss, it's an amazing thing. You need not to worry, because if you have extra capital, buy more. Because finally, once the market goes crazy and the value begins appreciating, you will be swimming in crazy profit, right? Now, just let me take you through briefly on my trade. Look at YFII. This is a coin which is floating currently at -44, and with the total capital that is floating, the value has gone, by the value depreciating by over 44%. What What this means is that, you see, what the floating loss is about? The floating loss is over $1,259, right? Meaning, if I tap on this coin, you see how much is on the coin? I have over close to $3,000 in the coin. But because the value has depreciated by $44, by 44%, now in terms of the amount that I have on the coin has gone also down by over $1,200. So I am down by $1,200 just because of the value of the coin going down by what? By negative 44. Now, do you know what this means? What this means is this. If I finally decide to sell this coin when it is this low at this percentage, I will lose $1,259. I will lose it. So out of close to 3,000, I'll only have back a capital of about 1,000 something. Imagine. Yet I have over close to $3,000 in the coin. But what if I decide to be patient? Just be patient and wait for the value of this coin to move from the negative 44 just back to 0%. Do you see that whatever I'd put in is back? Now what if it decides to go past the 0 and it begins going upward? Let's say to 10%. Let's say it goes again to 30% and it goes to 44.63%. What if it goes to positive 44.63%? The value appreciates to 44 or by 44.63%. What will happen in that case scenario? It means I would be in the opposite of this. I would be in the opposite of this, right? Currently, I'm in the negative and I'm down by 1,259. But what if the value appreciates by positive 44.6? I will be in floating profit of 1,259. Just imagine. That is close to, that is almost close to 50% of my total capital that the robot placed on the coin. So this is what this floating loss is all about. And if you check critically that even much as I'm in a floating loss, if you understand what to do and you know what to do, you know how to trade in a floating loss by identifying entry opportunities and allowing the robot execute trade, you will continue winning. You will continue making profits. Let me just open mine. See, if I come to my transaction record, right? Just check on my transaction record. That much as I'm floating at negative 44, the robot did not stop making for me the profits. See, imagine making $2.79, $3.2. We're talking about a coin that is floating. $0.65. Just let's check through. This is 2.02, 2.37, 1.65. These are dollars I'm talking about. These are dollars. This is money. This is money. This. Just check this. Just imagine. I am floating, but the robot is making me crazy profit. Just imagine this. Yeah? You now see what I mean? That when you understand what to do and you know how to identify those entry opportunities, price action, you understand how to identify entry opportunities and allow the robot to buy, it will execute and give you profit even when in the dip. Now, just by this alone, I've made some good money. What if finally the market gains and then the value of the coin gains and appreciates and goes past the 0% and goes into the positive? I'll be making crazy profit out of my close to $3,000 in the coin. So with that understood and that in mind, if you are in a floating loss, know there is always a way out, right? There's a way out. There are two ways out. You can decide to open more margin calls, identify trade entry opportunities, allow the robot to buy so that any slight movement of the market up, right, you are able to profit. Because remember, the robot was designed to help us trade in either direction of the market, in any kind of the market, be it an uptrend or a downtrend, because the market will never move in a linear form. There will always be an aspect of that up and down movement, up and down movement. So we benefit from this up, and then the robot buys in this down movement. We benefit from the up, that is through the sell, and then the robot buys again. Same applies to a downward movement. If it moves down in this manner, goes down, the robot will buy. If it slightly goes up, the robot will sell. If it again dips, the robot will buy. If it slightly moves up, the robot will sell. And that is the beauty of this robot. So once you understand how to identify this kind of trade entry opportunity, yeah, and you allow the robot to buy, right? When the market moves slightly up, you'll be in position to make profit significantly. When it goes down, it buys, and then you sell, and you'll make profit all the way, even when the coin is floating. You get that? So I hope this may encourage some of you who are floating currently, serious floating loss, that there is always a way out. You can make absolutely good profits even while floating, as you wait for the value to appreciate finally and get you out of the negative. Yeah. So it's been Coach Musa, and I hope this has been helpful, and have a blessed and happy trading. And don't forget to catch me up in my next video tutorial, where I'll be taking you through step by step on how you can trade a coin whose signal has been dropped in the group, even while in floating loss, and you make a significant profit. Just like I've shown you, you will be making this profit even while in a floating loss. Trust me. So hope to see you there. Until we meet again, it has been me, Coach Musa.